If your dog has started smelling a little off lately, I need you to stop scrolling for the next 20 minutes because what I'm about to tell you could genuinely save your dog's life. There is a very specific smell that dogs give off before something serious goes wrong inside their body. And most owners completely ignore it because they think it's just a dog thing. It's not. Vets see this every single day, and by the time most people bring their dog in, the problem has already been building for weeks, sometimes months. So if you've noticed your dog smells musty, yeasty, sour, or almost like corn chips, stick around because I'm going to break down exactly what that smell means, where it's coming from, and what you need to do about it right now. Before we go any further, if you love dogs and you want more videos like this one that could genuinely help you catch problems early, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe right now because it really helps this channel keep making content that protects dogs just like yours. Okay, let's get into it. Here's the thing about dogs that most people don't realize. A healthy dog, one that's bathed regularly and eating a good diet, should not have a strong odor. Sure, dogs have a natural doggy smell, that's normal, that's just oils on their skin and coat. But there's a difference between a normal, faint doggy smell and a smell that hits you the second you walk into the room. If your dog's smell is strong enough that you notice it from across the couch, or if guests are commenting on it, that is your dog's body sending you a signal. And these signals usually fall into a few very specific categories, each one pointing to a different problem happening under the surface. Let's start with the most common one, and this is the one almost every dog owner has experienced without realizing what it actually meant. It's that musty, almost cheesy smell coming from your dog's ears. A lot of people just assume dogs' ears are supposed to smell a little funky, and they leave it alone. But that specific yeasty, cheese-like odor is very often a sign of a yeast or bacterial infection brewing inside the ear canal. Dogs with floppy ears, like Cocker Spaniels, Basset Hounds, and Labradors, are especially prone to this because their ears don't get enough airflow, which creates the perfect warm, moist environment for yeast to multiply. If you gently lift your dog's ear flap and take a sniff, and it smells like old cheese or fermenting bread, that is not normal, and it usually means there's an infection that needs treatment. Left untreated, these infections can spread deeper into the ear canal, cause serious pain, and in some cases lead to permanent hearing damage or even affect your dog's balance. The scary part is that dogs are incredibly good at hiding pain, so your dog might still be acting completely normal, wagging its tail, eating fine, playing like usual, while this infection quietly gets worse underneath. Now let's talk about another smell that catches people off guard, and that's a strong, fishy odor, especially one that seems to come from your dog's rear end. This one is uncomfortable to talk about, but it's important, so bear with me. Dogs have two small glands on either side of their anus called anal glands. And these glands are supposed to release a small amount of fluid naturally, usually when your dog has a bowel movement. But sometimes these glands don't empty properly on their own, and they become impacted or infected. When that happens, you'll notice a very distinct, very strong, fishy smell, and your dog might start scooting their bottom across the floor, licking the area obsessively, or acting uncomfortable when they sit down. If this goes unaddressed, impacted anal glands can actually rupture, leading to a painful abscess that requires surgery. So, if you're smelling that fishy odor and your dog is scooting or licking back there more than usual, that's a clear sign you need to get those glands checked and expressed by a vet or groomer. Moving on to another one that a lot of owners mistake for something else, and that's bad breath. Now I know what you're thinking. Dogs just have bad breath. That's normal. And to a small degree, sure, dog breath isn't going to smell like mint. But there's a big difference between mild dog breath and breath that smells rotten, or almost like something has died in your dog's mouth. That kind of intense, foul odor is usually a sign of periodontal disease, which is basically a buildup of plaque and bacteria that has progressed into gum infection and even tooth decay. Here's what makes this one especially scary. Dental disease in dogs doesn't just stay in the mouth. The bacteria from an infected mouth can enter the bloodstream and travel to major organs like the heart, liver, and kidneys, causing serious internal damage over time. Studies have shown that dogs with untreated dental disease are at a higher risk for heart problems later in life. So that normal bad breath you've been ignoring for months could actually be a slow-moving threat to your dog's entire body, not just their teeth. Now let's talk about the skin, because this is where things get really interesting. If your dog has a smell that's almost oily or slightly sour, especially in the folds of their skin, in their armpits or around their neck, this could point to a skin infection or an underlying allergy. Dogs with allergies, whether it's food allergies or environmental allergies like pollen and dust, often develop excess oil production on their skin as a reaction. This excess oil becomes a breeding ground for yeast and bacteria, which is what creates that distinct sour or musty smell. Breeds with lots of skin folds, like bulldogs, pugs, and Shar-Peis, are especially prone to this because moisture and bacteria get trapped in those folds and can't dry out properly. If you run your hand along your dog's skin and it feels greasy, or if you notice redness, flaking, or hair loss along with the smell, that's your dog telling you their skin barrier is struggling and needs attention, whether that's a medicated shampoo, a diet change, or an allergy test. Here's another one that catches a lot of owners completely off guard, and that's a strong ammonia-like smell, almost like urine, even when your dog hasn't had an accident. This can actually be linked to kidney issues. When a dog's kidneys aren't filtering waste properly, toxins can build up in the bloodstream, and this sometimes results in breath or body odor that smells like ammonia or urine. This is more common in older dogs, but it can happen at any age, especially if there's an underlying condition affecting kidney function. If you notice this smell along with other symptoms like increased thirst, more frequent urination, or your dog seeming unusually tired, please don't wait around. Get your dog to the vet as soon as possible, because kidney issues progress much better with early intervention than they do once they've become advanced. Now, I want to pause here for a second, because I know some of you are listening to this and thinking about your own dog right now, maybe even smelling them in your head as we go through this list. And that's exactly the point of this video. Most owners don't realize how much information is hidden in something as simple as a smell, because we're so used to just accepting that dogs smell like dogs. But your dog's body is constantly communicating with you, and smell is one of the clearest signals it has. The good news is that most of these issues, when caught early, are very manageable. Ear infections can usually be cleared up with the right ear drops within a couple of weeks. Anal gland issues can be resolved with a simple expression at the vet. Dental disease can be managed with a professional cleaning and better home care. Skin issues often improve dramatically with the right shampoo or a diet adjustment. The key word here is early. The earlier you catch these signs, the simpler and cheaper the solution usually is, and more importantly, the less your dog has to suffer through discomfort or pain that they can't tell you about in words. So here's what I want you to do after watching this video. Tonight, or whenever your dog is calm and relaxed next to you, do a simple smell check. Smell their ears, smell their breath, run your hands along their skin, and smell your fingers afterward. And pay attention to how they smell overall. If everything smells relatively neutral, that's great news. Keep up whatever you're doing. But if you notice any of the smells we talked about today, the yeasty ears, the fishy rear end, the rotten breath, the sour skin, or the ammonia-like odor, don't panic, but do take it seriously. Book a vet appointment, mention the specific smell you noticed, because that detail actually helps vets narrow down what's going on much faster. You know your dog better than anyone else, and you're the only one who's going to notice these subtle changes before they become bigger problems. I also want to say this, because I think it's important. A lot of owners feel guilty when they realize they missed something like this for months without noticing. Please don't beat yourself up over it. Dogs are masters at hiding discomfort. It's an instinct left over from their wild ancestors, where showing weakness could make them a target. It's not your fault for not catching it sooner. What matters is what you do from this point forward. Now that you know what these smells mean, you're already ahead of most dog owners out there, and that puts you in a much better position to catch things early from now on. One more thing I want to mention before we wrap up. Diet actually plays a massive role in how your dog smells overall. Dogs eating low-quality food with lots of fillers often have more body odor, gassier digestion, and oilier skin, simply because their bodies are struggling to process what they're eating. If you've tried everything else and your dog still has a persistent smell with no clear medical cause, it might genuinely be worth looking into a higher quality diet, one with real meat as the first ingredient and fewer artificial additives. Sometimes the simplest changes make the biggest difference, and owners are often shocked at how much a diet change can improve their dog's smell, energy, and even coat quality within just a few weeks. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and let me know, did your dog have any of these smells, and did you find out what was causing it? Your experience could genuinely help another dog owner watching this video who's dealing with the exact same thing and doesn't know what to do. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with another dog owner in your life, because this kind of information can genuinely make the difference between catching a problem early or letting it turn into something much more serious and expensive down the road. Every share helps another dog get the care they deserve before things get worse. Taking care of a dog means paying attention to the little things, the things they can't tell us with words but show us in other ways, whether that's through their behavior, their energy levels, or yes, even the way they smell. Your dog trusts you completely to notice when something's wrong, and now you know exactly what to look and smell for. So give your dog a good sniff tonight, give him an extra hug while you're at it, and if anything seems off, don't wait, get it checked out. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. That genuinely means a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.